I think this is going to be a short one. Mariners lose 5-1. They fall to 47-38 on the season, and the series against the Twins is even at a game apiece. Let's go over the scoring plays. In the second inning, Jose Miranda singles to left to score backs Kepler. That makes it 1-0. But the Mariners answer back in the third with a Mitch Haniger homer, and it's been a while since we've said that. 1-1 at the end of 3, but it's all Twins from that point on, and it's all Byron Buxton from that point on. Buxton doubles to left off of Bryce Miller to score Carlos Santana, former Mariner legend, to make it 2-1. And then Buxton clobbers a 3-run homer in the sixth off Trent Thornton to make it 5-1. Mariners don't have any offensive success whatsoever from the third inning on, and really not a lot before either. The positive from this game is Bryce Miller, I thought, actually pitched pretty well. He gave up some hard contact, no question about it. Left a ball up to Kepler, got caught too much of the plate on the single to center that scored that run. Left a ball up to Buxton, and he took advantage of it. Not as bad as a pitch as the one. We'll talk about it. Miller's the only offensive positive, the only pitching positive. You know what? Actually, Snyder did a good job. Sacetto did a good job. Bizzardo. The bullpen after Trent Thornton was fine. Really solid. It didn't give up a run, struck out 5 over 3 innings. Pretty good. So, yeah, I'd take that back. Good job, bullpen, for keeping them in the game. I'd argue they were out of the game as soon as Minnesota scored 2 today. But, good job, bullpen. The only offensive positive for sure is Mitch Haniger. Great to see him finally hit a homer. I believe May 14th was the last homer that he hit. It's been a while. So it was just nice to see a ball get over the fence for Mitch Haniger, who has just not been good. Not been good. It's always good. Simply Seattle. They provide the very best in Seattle sports gear. Great stuff for the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Kraken, Huskies, Storm, Sounders. You can find it all at Simply Seattle. And you can use code MOLLYWOP15 to save 15% off your order. That's MOLLYWHOP15. Really appreciate the support from Simply Seattle, so I'd appreciate you guys supporting them. Link in the description to make it nice and easy for you. Trent Thornton was awful. Now, he gives up 3 hits and 3 runs, and somehow it was worse than that. It took a couple of diving plays by Josh Rojas and J.P. Crawford, which, actually resulted in a single, so it didn't really stop anything. But there was a lot of hard contact against Thornton today. Yuck. He was kind of due for a yuck, but this is the concern with Thornton, is he just doesn't have great command of his stuff. And again, command and control are not the same thing. We've seen him have control issues too, and they kind of go hand in hand, but today was a really bad day for Thornton. This offense. I mean, it's so hard to just not be repetitive, but it stunk again. And before you come at me and say, Chris, you're talking about a first place team, I know. I'm well aware, and I'm happy about it. And even with a win by the Astros, thanks for nothing, Mets held a 6-2 lead, I believe, in that game, but end up losing. You're still 4.5 games up. You're still 4.5 games up on the division. And one sec, I'm going to make sure the Astros actually did win that game. Yep, they did. So you're still 4.5 games up, and that's great. If you are able to watch these guys play right now, in particular the offense, and come away supremely confident or any level of confident whatsoever, you're better than me. Or you're more optimistic than me. I don't know if you're better than me, but you're definitely more optimistic than me, because I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Crawford was bad. Julio was bad. Julio didn't strike out, but he just hit weak ball after weak ball after weak ball after weak ball. Cal gets on twice. He does hit the double. Well, he doesn't hit the double. Excuse me. He hits the ball off the wall. It gets the runner to third. And in a game where you're down by 4, and I realize, hey, congratulations to Big Dumper on his 4th stolen base, kind of by accident, but congrats to him. Getting thrown out at second there. And also, I think he might have been safe. I don't understand why Service didn't challenge that play. You got to at least look at it. What are you saving it for? But that's a base running mistake. That's a base running mistake. The top of your lineup went 2 for 11 and struck out 3 times. And that's bad. But it pales in comparison to how crappy the middle of this order was today. Mitch Garver took 4 of the worst at-bats I've seen from the Seattle Mariners this year. And folks, think about that statement for a second. Think about that statement. He got worked. And I'll give some credit to Pablo Lopez for sure. Really good pitcher. Really bad trade that I think Dipoto would admit was a pretty bad trade. Holy crap. It looked like there was a hole in his bat. Except for the fact that all that did was make it aerodynamic for him to miss by about 10 feet on some of those swings. So no, there wasn't a hole in his bat. He just stunk. Ooh, that was ugly. Ty France he had one really good at bat, actually. I take that back, but it ends with an out. And 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. I'm not going to go on and praise somebody who goes 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Polanco bad. Dylan Moore had a good at bat as a pinch hitter if you're looking for a positive. But golly, another 15 strikeouts. And Garver, Rayleigh, and France combined to go 1 for 12 with 8 strikeouts. And this is the problem with doing a daily show. Because it's hard not to be repetitive. And it's hard not to be too sullen. Because, yeah, if you just want to look big picture, go ahead. Go ahead. And you're not wrong. They're 47 and 38. They're close to a handful of games up in the division. They've lost close to a handful of games up in the division, to be fair. But you're not wrong. But how can you watch games like today and not feel queasy, ill at ease? Because, man, I just don't know. I don't know. And you can talk about, well, go out and at the deadline and get some guys. And you're not wrong, again. And you have to. You absolutely have to. But if the guys who are here are playing this poorly, you're not going to fix it with some deadline acquisitions. You're not. Because you're not getting 9 new starters. Because let's just look at these lines right now, right? Your leadoff hitter is now hitting 214, 312, 362. Yuck. Your number 2 hitter is hitting 248, 299, 329. Yuck. Your number 3 hitter is hitting 202, 290, 393. Yuck. Your number 4 hitter is hitting 172, 291, 353. Ew. Your number 5 hitter is hitting 252, 298, 441. Hey, good slugging percentage at least. 298 on base percentage leaves a lot to be desired. Yuck. Your number 6 hitter is hitting 231, 320, 372. Yuck. Your number 7 hitter is hitting 195, 286, 299. Barf. Your number 8 hitter is hitting 214, 285, 339. Yuck. And your number 9 hitter is hitting 208, 318, 413. Pretty gross. Now, some of those OPS pluses are not actually that bad compared to around baseball. But you just see, especially with Julio playing like this, and it sucks that there's so much pressure on a 23-year-old. And I'm going to say it again. No long-term concerns about Julio Rodriguez. None. He's having a bad year. He's had some bad luck, but right now there's no bad luck. Julio's just playing bad baseball at the plate. Zero long-term concerns, but also no doubt that right now Julio Rodriguez isn't good enough to carry this offense. Not even close. No long-term concerns about Cal Raleigh, but there's no denying that he hasn't been good enough. Not even close. JP Crawford, a little more worried about him offensively because it's 1 year of above average offense. It's a 1 year of looking like a legitimate leadoff hitter. And Mitch Garver and Ty France and Jorge Polanco and Mitch Haniger and the rest just flat out aren't good enough right now. You can tell me all you want about how they're in first place, and I'm excited about it too. I want to win this division really bad. You can tell me all you want about how great they looked on the previous homestand. I was right there with you. I've got a broom sitting right behind me that I would love to use again. Won't be using it this week. And maybe I'll use it for the Orioles series. But you cannot tell me, watching this baseball team right now, that you are just filled with optimism. Or if you are, I both envy you, but also wonder if you're maybe just a little ignorant to what's going on. I don't know if they've announced officially that Jonathan Diaz is starting tomorrow, but I assume he is. Possible that I missed something. That's not great. And not because I think Jonathan Diaz is horrific. It's just, I think a series win here is pretty important with that Orioles series coming up. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for, I don't know. The optimism that I felt last week or 2 weeks ago has dwindled pretty strongly. This is what happens when you do a daily show. It's the ebbs and flows because teams are going to struggle. Teams are going to have their issues. Pitching staffs are going to have highs and lows. Offenses are going to have highs and lows. I'm waiting for that offensive high. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I really appreciate the support. I don't know. This game bummed me out. It bummed me out because, real quick too. One of the things I'm kind of sick of with the Seattle Mariners is, particularly in the infield, the almost good defensive play. We saw so many of those today. It's great that you knock the ball down, make the play. It's great that you showed some range to get to a baseball. Make the play. Defense is not just about making the plays that are in front of you. Good defensive teams don't just make the outs that are presented to them. They take away hits. They shorten the game for the offense because they take away hits. There just hasn't been enough of that at all this year, particularly from the infield defense. Josh Rojas has been mostly that guy. And I saw Ryan Bliss make some great plays for the most part. And actually, I talked about it yesterday that Ty France played a good defensive game. There just hasn't been enough of this. I don't want to see you knock balls down. I don't want to see you just make the plays that are in front of you. I need to see a defense that actually takes away outs. Should have talked about that earlier. And so many of you have stopped watching a long time ago. But for those of you who stuck around, it's a very frustrating thing because you're just not helping pitching staff enough by just knocking a ball down. And what an almost play. I'm tired of the almost. Start making plays. Start playing better offensively. Trent Thornton again was awful. Why am I talking? Good night. I love you.